I was probably around 7 when the first FNAF game came out, and I remember it was such a big phenomenon on the internet. You know, everyone knew about it, and back in the day, it seemed so mysterious. It was just this mysterious game released by like a nobody essentially, and it had this really abstract, kind of difficult to piece together lore. But I remember back in the day when I was a little kid, it used to scare me a lot, and I remember what really contributed to like my feelings towards this game. It was a mix of old Smike videos.
FNAF number 8 is that Toy Freddy, well, you know, he's kind of, fat.
You'd always feel like scary music in the background, so it'd like freak me out. And of course, that very first game theory, FNAF theory. So on top of this like mysterious aura that the game already had, there was also like this psychotic video that was really popular at the time, and it was like really like one of the only main like pieces of content about this new game, about how it may or may not be connected to like some real life murder. I mean, to a young boy, you know, that's kind of unheard of. That's really disturbing, you know, and it kept me up at night. And I remember thinking about that. And I was reminded of that video when I was scrolling through TikTok one day. This video popped up, made by this guy, Sigma.Overwatch. And this is the only guy on the internet that I've seen speak about this topic. This is like so niche, you know, it's only really him who's ever spoken about it. You know, I even searched Reddit at the end of at the end of my search query, and I still got nothing. It's this guy, he's going over some supposed piece of Lost Media, and it's called Brilliant Bennet Gives to Charity. It's supposed to be some old computer game, and I mean, I'm showing the title screen right now. This is apparently like the only hint of this game's existence. It's like this little like green goblin guy in like a dungeon. So already, I mean, this is kind of like strange, and it really piqued my attention. Then he starts talking about how this game is like, if you try to research this game, all that shows up basically is stuff relating to a real life murder case. And I looked this up, you know, I did a little bit of research going into this video, and I mean, that's all that shows up. It's this really terrible case about a boy who did terrible things. I don't want to describe it. At some point, the Sigma.Overwatch guy says that this child who like did these terrible things, he says the kid got a melee elim on his infant sister. That's an interesting way to like phrase a real life murder of like a child, you know? In truth, I really can't tell if it's supposed to be an ARG or not, and everyone in the comments is kind of debating that, and I'm not too sure yet if the creator himself is like clarified. But I do think this Sigma.Overwatch guy, either he is the creator or he had someone essentially make this title screen for him, and he thought it'd be interesting if he like made a video about it, because his videos are kind of like satirical, kind of like silly videos, you know? So I'm about 90% sure that it is like a fake game that he made for like a bit. Why exactly he would choose to like reference this real life fucking murder case, it's lost on me. And I thought this was interesting, and I checked the comments, see if there's any sort of like development on it. And one of the top comments that you see on this video is close enough, welcome back MatPat Petscop theory. And that's another game theory video where MatPat, he discusses this real life case. Except that's interesting because the Petscop one is actually like kind of true. You know, it is like based on this really terrible, I mean, that's probably one of the most traumatic videos I've seen on YouTube, is that MatPat Petscop theory. It really rocked me to my core when I first watched it, and that was also like what, maybe six years ago at this point. So I was also a bit younger. It was just disturbing. It was weird. But the creator, Sigma.Overwatch, replies to this, or his first FNAF theory. Now, I thought that was so interesting because why exactly would someone want to like aim to recreate this insanely psychotic first game theory FNAF video, you know? Because like nowadays, people kind of look back at it and they're like, that was a strange video. Why was this the first connection that MatPat made, you know? The video is kind of like a case study now on like poor taste and how some theories can be made in poor taste. You've seen this kind of like video before where like it's MatPat and he's like describing some like ancient Hindu tradition, and then he like connects it to Minecraft or some stupid bullshit.
In the Islamic faith, the number 23 matters a lot, meaning that those 23 pillars in the Minecraft ocean monument...
But I feel like it's still like a kind of sensitive subject matter with that first video. You know, people kind of don't really want to talk about it that much because it is such a graphic thing. And I feel like this Brilliant Bennet Gives to Charity is also an extremely graphic thing, and it's kind of chilling that something like that can be used so casually just for some like ARG, you know? I would say that if this project, whatever you want to call this like prank, this like joke video, this satire video, it is in like much worse taste than that first game theory video. Because at least MatPat was like trying to like realistically somewhat make a connection to something that may have inspired Scott Cawthon. You know, it's not like he was like objectively saying this. He was like, oh, you know, maybe this inspired Scott Cawthon, you know, stuff like that. You know, it was a theory, it was a hypothetical thing. But this thing is made with you researching this and reading this terrible story in mind. So it's in so much worse taste. It really leaves a bad taste in your mouth afterwards, and it makes you like wonder. I don't think this is a real game. If it is a real game, I will make a follow-up. I really don't think it's like anything as of yet. I'm kind of seeing like now in the comments, he added like some more like ARG-ish elements, you know, like he talks about like this, finding it on some Twitter post that's gone now. He can't find it. Can't remember the fucking username. He drops like the makers of fucking Pajama Sam, I guess. I'm about 90% sure this might blossom into like maybe a bigger in scale ARG, but this was made at the time of recording like about a month ago. I haven't seen anything come out. All my searches, I mean, there's still nothing. There is still a very small chance that this is like a real thing, genuine story that he's telling. But I mean, my point still stands. I literally think that first game theory video just can't be remade. That is a thing of its time that will most likely not get repeated, or rather it shouldn't be repeated, is the point I'm trying to make. I really wouldn't recommend looking into like the actual case. I'm gonna put the original Sigma Overwatch video in it, and he describes the case, and you know, he's really passive about it. I've explained this, but I mean, he explains it. If you don't want to read through like old news articles about this like really terrible thing, I mean, I have it right there in the description, so I mean, feel free, be my guest. You know, if there's anything new and it like comes out, then please send it to me and stuff. I would be interested to make a follow up. I didn't really mean this to be like a hate video to Sigma Overwatch. You know, don't go over to like his comments and like spam me and stuff. I mean, it's people making ARGs is like 90% of the time it's always going to end with something like this. And it's unfortunate. I don't know. It doesn't warrant like really terrible harassment. So please refrain from doing that. But in general, that's really all I have to say about this topic. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.